Fu Shanshan's attitude had completely changed. He was no longer worried about following Yang Chen. He was excited. He was looking forward to traveling the eastern continent with such a man. What a sight! The crowd disperses. Yang Chen and others didn't leave, waiting for Jian Wuk, who was in a deep trance. He was still in a state of concentration. People thought Jian Wuk was defying the norm and had made a breakthrough. They wondered what he had done. But little did they know, Jian Wuk was simply refining his soul power. He was focused on improving his soul power, while Yang Chen was looking at Donghuang Wangkai, with a mischievous look in his eyes. It's your turn, Wangkai. With your talent, you should be able to leave your mark on the soul stone again. Donghuang Wangkai's face darkened. Yang Chen was being annoying. He said, can you two be any less high profile? We're going to attract a lot of hate this way. We'll be targeted by a lot of jealous people. Well see, Yang Chen thought to himself. Yang Chen then noticed that Xiao Yanyang's sister, Xiao Chang, was looking at Donghuang Wangkai with an unusual gaze. It wasn't hate, but more like curiosity. In Yang Chen's experience, when a woman became curious about a strange man, a relationship wasn't far off. Yang Chen was amused. My brother had some good luck in Fengshan Mountain. Yang Chen then stopped bothering Donghuang Wangkai. Jian Wuk, with a happy expression, grabbed Yang Chen. Bro, I did it again. I did it again. Yang Chen wasn't surprised. After all, he gave a lot of soul energy to Wuk. Logically speaking, soul power would increase after refining. In a flash, unlike Yang Chen, Wu Shanshan, Donghuang Wangkai, and the Xiao siblings were all stunned. What was going on? These two brothers, one had left his mark on the Fengshan stone, and the other had a breakthrough in soul power during his soul refinement. It was unheard of. Everyone knew that among the core strengths of a cultivator, soul power was the most mysterious, and the hardest to improve. An increase in soul power meant an increase in comprehension, and overall strength. You really are amazing. Donghuang Wangkai was shocked, but also deeply envious. He was happy for Jian Wuk, and joked about his brothers being strong, making him look good as an older brother. But he also felt a great sense of pressure. He knew he wasn't as strong as these two. Donghuang Wangkai thought he might as well try his luck, and said why not try to test your soul power level and see if you can still leave your mark on the soul stone. Give it a try. Donghuang Wangkai didn't think he would succeed, but Jian Wuk said confidently, of course I can. Even if I can't do it as well as Chen, I can definitely leave my mark. Jian Wuk immediately started to activate his soul power. The soul stone slightly reacted. A black soul ring lit up below the soul stone. Hu Shanshan, Xiao Yunyang, and Xiao Qing were all amazed. They had all tried it secretly before, but couldn't make it react. This was unreal. Donghuang Wangkai had a bad feeling. He should not have suggested Jian Wuk to try. He had dug a hole for himself. Little Wuk, please, just light up one soul ring. Please don't succeed. Donghuang Wangkai started to pray. But his prayers did not work. The soul stone lit up with the second, third, fourth, and fifth rings. It finally stopped at the sixth ring. The people stared at the mysterious black light from the soul stone. They were all dumbfounded. Many other cultivators were also shocked, wondering who this person was, who could leave his mark on the soul stone after Yang Chen. They rushed to the soul stone and discovered another name there. Jian Wuk. Everyone was at a loss for words. They already knew Jian Wuk was recognized by the Fengshan stone. But nobody thought that he would leave his mark on the soul stone first. Jian Wuk, with some embarrassment, looked at Yang Chen and said, bro, it's hard. My limit is 6 soul rings. Am I embarrassing you? Hu Shanshan rolled his eyes. If this was embarrassing, then what would they be? What would they be? Donghuang Wangkai was in a hurry. He wanted to find a way to leave. He had to leave this place. Ha ha ha. Yang Chen laughed, little Wuk, don't be down. You've already done an amazing job. We're only 20 years old. Hearing this, the crowd felt more depressed. Only 20 years old. The crowd of young talents were left speechless. They expressed their envy and offered invitations, hoping to recruit these prodigies. Jian Wuk was overwhelmed by the compliments. Yang Chen stepped up and said, thank you all. We appreciate you noticing our brothers. As for joining sects, we've already discussed it. We're not in a rush. Everyone understood what Yang Chen meant, that they were weighing their options. The news of Fengshan Mountain must have reached the major sects in Dongquan. They would hear from them soon. After a long time, the crowd slowly dispersed. Yang Chen decided to do some cultivation at Hangbei Mountain, his next goal. Donghuang Wangkai was relieved that Yang Chen didn't force him to try the soul stone again. Yang Chen and his group began their cultivation in Hangbei Mountain. Meanwhile, the entire Dongchuan was in an uproar. From third-rate sects and old families to the four great sects, they were all talking about the Fengshan Mountain. The majority of them didn't believe it. Two young men had left their mark on the function stone and the soul stone. It was even more ridiculous that Yang Chen had lit up 9 lamps in the 9 tower and 9 soul rings on the soul stone. How was that possible? Especially Chai Jianyun of the Medicine King sect. He knew the entrance to the secret realm of Jidong better than anyone. He had even seen the young talents of Dongpu Kingdom and Donghuang sect in the capital, and none of them stood out. And now, news came out that Yang Chen, from the Donghuang sect, had left his mark on Fengshan Mountain. Even though Chai Jianyun didn't know who Yang Chen was, he deemed this news to be fake. The various factions of Dongchuan secretly sent talented youngsters into the Dongchuan secret realm to investigate. They promised big rewards to those who could recruit Yang Chen. The most enthusiastic was Dongchuan Empire. The current emperor, Wan Shangxiong, had always been secretly planning to restore the empire to its ancient glory. He was very fond of Yang Chen. He knew that Yang Chen was from a poor area and an ordinary sect. He would be easier to control. He believed that this prodigy would definitely become the cornerstone of the royal family if cultivated properly. Wan Lianqing went back to Dongchuan's secret realm. He took Wan Xian's request to recruit Yang Chen. Only the Water Academy remained unmoved by all the commotion. To the Water Academy, talents were just passing by. The Water Academy wasn't a sect. It only accepted disciples from the academy, and never recruited anyone. Although the news of Yang Chen had spread throughout the Water Academy, the elders didn't care. Just like the Fire Academy and Fire Gate Mountain, the Water and Fire Academies were located outside of the Twin City, on Twin Mountains. The Twin Mountains were Water Spirit Mountain and Fire Gate Mountain. Water Spirit Mountain was located before Fire Gate Mountain. It looked like a dragon. Fire Gate Mountain was a bit smaller, so it was called Little Dragon Mountain. Water Academy took in a large portion of young talents of Dongchuan. Especially those from ancient families, who preferred Water Academy. There were tens of thousands of teachers and students in Water Academy. But the Fire Academy was desolate. On the Fire Gate Mountain, there were only a few people. There was hardly anyone coming in or out of Fire Gate Mountain. This was because the monsters living there never left the mountain. If someone from Fire Gate Mountain came down, it would be major news that shocked Dongchuan. But suddenly, a young girl, who looked less than, walked out of the Fire Gate Mountain. The young girl did not go down the mountain, but followed a small path on the side of the mountain. She was heading to Water Spirit Mountain. She was heading to the Water Academy's teleportation array. The young girl was excited, as this was probably her first time down the mountain. She was hopping, singing a little song. She went directly to the main hall of Water Academy. This was her first time seeing so many people. The Water Academy students were also curious about her, with her powerful cultivation. She was a heavenly realm cultivator. Such a cultivator was rare in Dongchuan. Was she from some powerful family? The little girl ignored everyone, walking to the teleportation hall. Inside the teleportation hall, there were many teleportation gates. The most conspicuous one led to the first layer of Dongchuan's secret realm. The elder in charge of the teleportation hall, Duan Qi, was curious about the little girl, and had a guess in his heart. The little girl stopped before Duan Qi, and showed him a red token. She said, "I want to go to Dongchuan's secret realm." Duan Qi's guess was confirmed when he saw the red token. He asked, "May I ask who you are from Fire Academy?" The girl puffed her cheeks and said, "In the youngest of the 5. They are all older than me. Who are you?" Duan Qi bowed and said, "Greetings, elder. I am a disciple of Zun Naisun." The girl became happy, "Your elder son's disciple. Help me register. I want to go to the secret realm." The only outsiders who could go to Fire Gate Mountain were Elder Sun and his disciples. Although he was curious, Duan Qi didn't dare to ask more. A Fire Academy disciple descending the mountain would shake Dongchuan, because every time Fire Academy sent a disciple down the mountain, it meant something big would happen. At the same time, at the far east of Donghuang Mountain, the news of Yang Chen leaving his mark on Fengshan Mountain had spread. The entire Donghuang sect was excited, and everyone had a smile on their faces. Donghuang sect had become famous throughout Dongchuan. The sect leader, Donghuang Haozheng, was grinning from ear to ear. The great elder and Lao Ke had mixed feelings. They knew that Yang Chen leaving Dongchuan meant he was about to leave their protection. Lao Ke, who had been watching Yang Chen grow up, was reluctant to see him go. But he knew that Yang Chen had to leave, and that the road ahead might be filled with dangers, but that was inevitable. The life of the Devourer was a life of struggle and battles. He was destined to become the master of his clan in the future. But before the young master left, he had to prepare some things. Qianlingxi was also unhappy. He had heard about Yang Chen leaving his mark on the Fengshan stone, but he also heard that Yang Chen was with a beautiful woman, a Luofu kingdom princess. Qianlingxi couldn't bear it anymore. He took Chiu Liner and quickly went down the mountain. He wanted to go find Yang Chen. Unlike Donghuang Haozheng, Yifeng of Luofu kingdom was full of worry. He was checking the kingdom's fate. Just like last time, he was told that the royal family was going to be destroyed by a guy named Yang Chen. Yifeng didn't believe it before, but now, his son had been destroyed. He should have fought with Donghuang Haozhong and killed Yang Chen. He missed that chance in the capital. He sent a new member to the Dongchuan secret realm to find the Taiha sect to work with them, to kill Yang Chen with their help. Unaware of the trouble that was coming his way, Yang Chen was about to start his cultivation. Many were waiting near Hangbei Mountain, wanting to see if Yang Chen could really do it. They were curious if Yang Chen was able to leave his mark on the Hangbei Mountain. There were also many others who wanted to recruit him in Jian Wuk, but no one dared to disturb Yang Chen, as they didn't want to anger him. They all waited. 7 days went by. On this day, Yang Chen's body was filled with a powerful energy, startling Jian Wuk, who was cultivating beside him. Donghuang Wangkai knew at a glance that Yang Chen was breaking through. He was breaking through to the Heavenly River realm. Yang Chen's cultivation had naturally increased to the Heavenly River realm. It was a perfect breakthrough. Unlike the usual grand breakthroughs of others, Yang Chen's was surprisingly quiet. Even his 5 souls didn't show themselves. After waiting for half a day, Yang Chen finally stood up. Some people rushed over, trying to recruit him. Wan Lianqing approached him with a smile and said, "I am here under the order of the emperor to invite you to live in our capital. We are from the Dongchuan Empire." Yang Chen was annoyed by his fake smile, but he didn't show it. "I'm just a low-level cultivator. I didn't expect that I would alarm the emperor." "I am honored." Yang Chen was acting a little. From what he knew, Wan Lianqing's grandfather was the current emperor of Dongchuan. His power was absolute. You're just the emperor's dog." Yang Chen was annoyed by Wan Lianqing's tone. "Just say the conditions." Wan Lianqing continued to smile. "The emperor said that if you join the empire, you can choose any city as your territory. You will be a powerful lord. Moreover, you can access our secret training grounds. I'm here to introduce you," Wan Lianqing said, as if afraid Yang Chen didn't understand the empire's secrets. "Within our imperial treasury, we have countless treasures in a Heavenly Realm 5 Traces Cultivator." Wan Lianqing's words caused an uproar. The Eastern Chuan Empire was really going all out for Yang Chen. They were making offers that no one could refuse. Yang Chen was stunned. He was shocked by the Eastern Chuan Empire's generosity, but perhaps because of the Eastern Earth Kingdom, he wasn't so impressed by these powerful forces. Yang Chen didn't show it. Instead, he smiled and said, "Your Highness, I've said before, I won't make any decisions until after I conquer Mount Fengshan. Please be patient. I am focused on that task." That was for sure. Wan Lianqing seemed to hear a hint of agreement in Yang Chen's tone. He was secretly pleased. Seeing that Yang Chen wasn't making a decision yet, the representatives from various forces held back. Yang Chen broke through the crowd. When he had left Mount Fengshan, he had been filled with anger. Now, these so-called Eastern Chuan geniuses were fawning over him. They looked at him with such passion in their eyes. Yang Chen couldn't help but remember what his chief master Qian Buduan had said, "No matter where you are, you will have a great career." After a moment, Yang Chen regained his composure and focused. This is the Hongbei. Now that he had reached the Heavenly Harmony realm, his 4 true qi were extremely strong. He wanted to see how he would do against the Hongbei. It shouldn't be too difficult, but Yang Chen estimated that to pass it, it is nearly impossible. Yang Chen slowly walked in front of the Hongbei. He placed his hand on the Hongbei, unleashing the saintly true qi within his dantian. Almost instantly, a bright red line lit up on the Hongbei. The light was dazzling, surprising everyone, including Jian Wuk. Then, a second, third, fourth, and fifth line lit up on the Hongbei. A 6th line lit up. The Hongbei was showing 6 lines. He did it. That's terrifying. I didn't expect Yang Chen's true qi to be so powerful. He's a monster. This is a true genius. The surrounding Eastern Chuan sect cultivators were all in awe, but Yang Chen was not happy. This was his limit. He had only lit up 6 lines, unable to light up the 7th, let alone the 9th and pass. I'm still far off. Yang Chen asked Rong Lao, "What's the Hongbei protecting?" Rong Lao replied, "My mood is always good. Your soul force is enough, your true qi is a bit lacking. If you want to improve, it will be much easier. By the way, there is a drop of Jilin true elixir within Hongbei. It is definitely, especially for cultivators at the postnatal realm, getting just 1 drop would greatly enhance their cultivation." Yang Chen gasped. He knew about the Jilin true elixir from the myths he had read as a child. The Jilin true elixir was only found in the core of top-grade spiritual veins. In a place like Eastern Chuan, there was no Jilin true elixir, or even high-grade spiritual veins. There were only 4 top-grade spiritual veins in Eastern Chuan, controlled by the 4 great powers. What a waste. Just as he was about to give up, a flash of light appeared in Yang Chen's mind. He suddenly used his all-heaven true qi. It was different from the other forms of true qi. He had rarely used his all-heaven true qi. But Yang Chen was very clear that his all-heaven true qi was special. It's a kind of sacrificial power. Perhaps this time, maybe it will have a special effect. What? Look! The crowd, who had thought that Yang Chen's performance was at 6 lines, didn't expect a 7th line to light up. They were shocked, but their surprise didn't end there. They couldn't understand why the 7th line was purple. The 6 lines below were all red. Does lighting up the 7th line require a different power, or does lighting up the 7th line mean the true qi has reached a new level? They didn't know that the reason for this colored line was Yang Chen's all-heaven true qi. Unlike these onlookers, Rong Lao could clearly sense the situation within the Hong Bei. He has also mastered the power of lightning. He could never have imagined. What is this kid? Even in the endless void, in those powerful worlds, lightning cultivators are very rare. It is rumored that those who awaken a lightning talent are the chosen ones. They are the people chosen by the heavenly Tao. Therefore, lightning cultivators are destined to succeed. Rong Lao was curious. The heavenly spirit continent is clearly a medium world. It shouldn't have a complete heavenly Tao. So how could it be possible to have someone chosen by the heavenly Tao? Master, how did you awaken your lightning talent? Yang Chen was equally surprised. He didn't expect his all-heaven true qi to be so powerful. He easily lit up the 7th line, and then the 8th and 9th line. He didn't even need to try. So, Yang Chen told Rong Lao the story of how he met that strange creature on Mount Zhaoge, and how he accidentally awakened his lightning attribute while using the Can Jing. Rong Lao was speechless. He determined that Yang Chen was definitely not a chosen one. Because in the great worlds, those chosen ones all have a single talent, and their talent is awakened from birth. But Yang Chen is different. Rong Lao's attention turned to the Can Jing. The name was too arrogant. Can this really defy the heavens? Master, where did your Can Jing come from? It's from my 5 souls' inheritance. Yang Chen's words left Rong Lao even more stunned. A soul can inherit a cultivation technique. That's a joke. Even heavenly souls only contain one type of power. I have never heard of a soul that can inherit a cultivation technique. And your soul is so unusual that I can't recognize it. But he was sure that it was not a normal heavenly soul. Could your soul be some kind of all-attribute heavenly soul? Rong Lao believed that was the only explanation. It seems my young master is carrying a great secret. Rong Lao was glad to meet such a man. It was truly a limitless future. It's going to be an interesting future. At that moment, Yang Chen didn't have time to pay attention to Rong Lao, who was lost in his imagination. Yang Chen heard a familiar voice again. It was the ancient mountain spirit of Mount Fengshan. Like last time, the ancient mountain spirit had opened the Hong Bei for him, so he could refine the Jilin true elixir. Yang Chen decided to help Jian Wuk. He called Dong Huang Wankai and Jian Wuk over, asking them to place their hands on the Hong Bei, so he could give them the power of the Jilin true elixir. Jian Wuk and Dong Huang Wankai were curious, but they followed Yang Chen's instructions. They stepped forward and placed their hands on the Hong Bei. What are Jian Wuk and Dong Huang Wankai doing? Haha, I bet they have a reason. I heard that the ancient mountain spirit will give some benefits. Could it be true? Many people started to imitate Jian Wuk and Dong Huang Wankai. They all placed their hands on the Hong Bei. Unfortunately, their efforts were all in vain. They had no idea that Jian Wuk and Dong Huang Wankai were currently immersed in the energy of the Jilin true elixir that Yang Chen had refined. These two had never felt such a pure energy. They followed Yang Chen's instructions and started to refine the energy and merge it with their dantian. They could feel their true qi rapidly improving. Jian Wuk and Dong Huang Wankai were overjoyed. They were ecstatic. Having such an amazing brother was so important. Soon, the surrounding cultivators noticed that Jian Wuk and Dong Huang Wankai's bodies were radiating an extreme aura. Those two must have gotten a huge benefit. Is it just because they are Yang Chen's brothers? The crowd looked at Jian Wuk and Dong Huang Wankai with envy. Yang Chen, who was still at the first level of the heavenly harmony realm, was using his true qi to refine the Jilin true elixir, which took him half an hour. After fully refining the Jilin true elixir, Yang Chen stood up. Piao Shanshan, who was a little jealous, came up. She didn't say anything, but she had a look in her eyes that was difficult to read. Yang Chen knew she wanted his help, but the Jilin true elixir had only 1 drop. Yang Chen pretended not to see Piao Shanshan's gaze and laughed at Xiao Yunyang. Big brother, I did it again. Xiao Yunyang laughed heartily. He was happy to have met Yang Chen. Xiao Yunyang did not envy Jian Wuk and Dong Huang. After all, they were Yang Chen's brothers. His relationship with Yang Chen wasn't as close. Like Xiao Yunyang, many others were congratulating him. Some of them were overly exaggerated, as if they wanted to carry Yang Chen to the heavens. Yang Chen smiled at their words. But he really enjoyed this feeling. It was amazing. But then, Yang Chen felt a chill. With a bad feeling, Yang Chen looked in one direction. In the distance, two beautiful girls were quietly looking at Yang Chen. They didn't seem happy. Yang Chen's heart sank. I'm in trouble. I was so busy celebrating that I completely forgot about them. Luckily, Yang Chen reacted quickly. He squeezed through the crowd at lightning speed, and rushed to Qian Lingxi and Xiao Linger. Yang Chen put on an exaggerated expression, as if he was very excited. He said, Lingxi, this is so unexpected. Why did you come to Mount Fengshan? Before Qian Lingxi could speak, Xiao Linger coldly said, Oh, Yang Chen, not bad. You remember us. I guess you haven't forgotten us. Hearing this, Yang Chen felt goosebumps. He knew his guess was right. He was really in trouble. But Yang Chen acted like he didn't understand. With a puzzled expression, he asked, Linger, what are you talking about? I don't understand. You don't understand. I don't understand. Xiao Linger, who knew Yang Chen so well, didn't fall for his act. She said, continue acting. Helpless, Yang Chen used another trick, pleading, my dear aunt, please don't accuse me. I didn't do anything to offend you? You offended not me, but Lingxi. Xiao Linger said with a pout. Qian Lingxi didn't speak, looking calmly at him. Yang Chen was afraid to speak. Helpless, he confessed, Lingxi, you have to believe me. I was forced to do it. But don't worry, there is absolutely nothing between me and Piao Shanshan. So, what is between you and Piao Shanshan? How does it affect me? Qian Lingxi said calmly. Yang Chen knew that she was angry. Lingxi, let me explain. Then, Yang Chen told them about everything since entering the secret realm. Especially after entering the Luofu ancient city and meeting Piao Shanshan. Hearing Yang Chen's explanation, Qian Lingxi's anger had lessened, but her expression was still the same. Yang Chen anxiously leaned closer to Qian Lingxi and said, Lingxi, everything I said is true. Besides, little Kai was always there. You can ask her. Say something. What do you want me to say? Finally, Qian Lingxi spoke. Only then did Yang Chen feel relieved. Lingxi, you can't be angry. You know my heart. Xiao Linger mocked. The entire Eastern Huang Kingdom knows Yang Chen's heart is a flower heart. Don't let me find out that you are causing trouble for our little Shi, or I won't let you off. Just as Yang Chen was feeling embarrassed, Jian Wuk and Dong Huang came over, excited. They were his saviors. Qian Lingxi smiled when she saw Jian Wuk and Dong Huang. It was beautiful. Jian Wuk said seriously, Sister-in-law, my brother didn't do anything wrong. Who is your sister-in-law? Qian Lingxi's face turned red. Xiao Linger angrily said to Jian Wuk, don't try to cover for your brother. We don't know what he is planning. You can't even control yourself. Now, it was Jian Wuk's turn to feel bad. Dong Huang laughed, and went to Qian Lingxi and told her, Lingxi, you have to control him. I've said it many times, but he doesn't listen. You have to punish him for his womanizing ways. You have to punish him severely. After saying that, Dong Huang finally felt good. But Yang Chen was dumbfounded. Isn't Dong Huang usually very honest? Why is he like this too? Piao Shanshan came up. He now understood why Yang Chen was indifferent to her. It was because he had such amazing family members. Piao Shanshan felt sad. But she calmly stepped forward and said softly, are you Lingxi's sister? Yang Chen has always told me about you. He almost praised you to the heavens. Now that we've finally met. As expected, Yang Chen had really stirred things up, kicking his way through thousands of spiritual stones in front of Mount Bodhi. These women, they were all not easy to deal with. Qian Lingxi smiled. You must be the famous Princess Luofu Gu, what a beauty. No wonder my Yang Chen is so captivated. With the two women competing against each other, Yang Chen was suffering. He didn't dare speak. Thankfully these two were powerful, but not overtly aggressive. This worried Yang Chen, but who was he? While the two women were lost in thought, he changed the subject. Lingxi, Linger, you two came at the right time. Xiaokei and Dong Huang are testing themselves at the Monument of Grief. Really, Xiaokei? Is it true? Yang Chen's words successfully diverted Qianlingxi and Xiao Linger's attention, allowing him to breathe a temporary sigh of relief. The geniuses from the great Dongchuan sects below were all dumbfounded. The various sects also had countless beauties, but none like Qianlingxi. So pure and refined, so incredibly beautiful. She was simply like the celestial maiden in legends. Immediately, many representatives from various forces abandoned their plans to seduce Yang Chen. Some others were more perceptive and focused on those close to Yang Chen, like Jian Wuk and Donghuang Wangkai. Even the Medicine King Valley and Jian Mu focused on Qianlingxi and Xiao Linger. They all knew that Yang Chen was destined to join the four great families. They settled for second best, thinking that getting close to Yang Chen's friends was a step closer to the great man himself. Thus, the representatives of the various forces were all plotting their schemes, while Yang Chen and the others were at the Monument of Grief. With Xiao Linger present, Jian Wuk was even more motivated. He couldn't wait to say, "Wang Kai, let me go first." Immediately, Jian Wuk stood in front of the Monument of Grief, placing his hand on it and rapidly circulating his power. He unleashed the Tyrant Demon Heaven Art, pushing his true chi to the max. Let's see if the monument responds. It vibrated slightly, but a whole incense stick had passed, and the monument had no other reaction. It did not light up. Xiao Linger was anxious, watching intently. Qianlingxi was focused on him. Yang Chen was confused. This shouldn't be happening. He knew Jian Wuk's strength well. He should at least light up a few lines. Why was nothing showing? The other geniuses from the Dongchuan sects were a bit disappointed. It seemed Jian Wuk was just physically strong, his true chi was still lacking. Luckily, they didn't say it out loud, only thinking to themselves. Just as they were about to make a remark, the Monument of Grief started to light up instantly. Black lines appeared one after another. The entire monument lit up in an instant. Xiao Linger was very excited, waving her little fist. Qianlingxi also showed a look of shock, and only Donghuang Wangkai started to get worried. If Xiao Ke could succeed and he couldn't, he would become a joke. As the crowd gasped in awe, the Monument of Grief lit up with yet another line. The sixth line. Looking at the monument, Jian Wuk's name appeared, a talent of Dongchuan. Many geniuses from the great Dongchuan sects felt a sense of powerlessness. Jian Wuk, who recovered his wits, looked at his name on the Monument of Grief and smiled foolishly. Jian Wuk's simple mind always amused Xiao Linger. She liked his simple-mindedness. Now, everyone, including Yang Chen, was focused on Donghuang Wangkai. The pressure on him was immense. But seeing Xiao Qinglian secretly giving him an encouraging look, Donghuang Wangkai became resolute. He took a deep breath, stepped up to the monument, and his eyes were filled with a determination. It was as if the challenge before him was nothing. Suddenly, Donghuang Wangkai erupted with immense power, red light surrounding him, with a huge fiery sword appearing behind him. He unleashed all 5 of his souls. The expression on Donghuang Wangkai's face became solemn, and his aura was incredibly strong. It was as if he had transformed into an enormous figure. Donghuang Wangkai slammed his hands on the Monument of Grief. He used his true chi to the max, wildly sending his power into the monument. In an instant, 2 lines lit up on the monument. Then, a 3rd line appeared. And just as they had witnessed earlier, the monument was still without much reaction after an incense stick was burned. The 4th line lit up. Even Yang Chen was starting to doubt. He had always thought highly of Donghuang Wangkai. He really is strong. Many geniuses from the great Dongchuan sect started to smile. They didn't want all 3 of Yang Chen's brothers to succeed. That would be too unbelievable. It seemed their wishes were granted. When many thought Donghuang Wangkai was about to fail, the 4th line lit up. And then the 5th one. But Yang Chen's smile suddenly froze. He suddenly noticed that the 5th red line on the monument was flickering and unstable, on the verge of disappearing. Could it be? At that moment, the most anxious one was Donghuang Wangkai. He was desperately trying to control the true chi in his dantian. Under the gaze of everyone, the 5th line flickered on the Monument of Grief, but it finally stabilized. Yang Chen, Jian Wuk, and Qianlingxi all breathed a sigh of relief. Another name was added to the Monument of Grief. Donghuang Wangkai let out a loud laugh. He had finally succeeded. Even though he succeeded with the help of his brothers, at the end of the day it was still a success. Finally, he didn't fail. Now, he could pursue Xiao Yunyang's younger sister boldly. He had been secretly admiring her for a while, and she seemed to have feelings for him too. He knew he came from a small, desolate sect, but by succeeding at Mount Fengshan, he was qualified to pursue the princess of a great country. Many geniuses from the great Dongchuan sects were impressed. They knew that these guys were not ordinary people. Dong Wang Kai, being a bit of a country bumpkin, went over to Yang Chen and said to Qian Lingxi, "Sister-in-law, I will help you. Take care of this boy in the future. Even though he's a little bit of a playboy, he would never dare to cheat on you, or else, I will punish him for you." Yang Chen almost cursed out loud. He really shouldn't have given Dong Wang Kai that energy. Qian Lingxi looked at Yang Chen and smiled without saying anything. Yang Chen was very embarrassed. He decided to change the topic. "You guys are too happy too soon. There is still the test at the Divine Power Echo Wall. Let's go." Under Yang Chen's encouragement, the group moved toward the Divine Power Echo Wall. But once there, Yang Chen became worried. He knew that with his current body, the Divine Power Echo Wall would not be a problem. But to reach the 9th level and obtain the hidden treasure there was almost impossible. And Xiao Kei couldn't even do 9 echoes. Surrounded by geniuses, Yang Chen started training his body, while pretending to be training. He was actually asking for help from Elder Rong. Elder Rong sighed. Truthfully speaking, Yang Chen's current body was already strong enough. Even compared with a peak cultivator at the 9th level of the heaven and human realm, he would be stronger. But Yang Chen wanted to be a show-off. He wanted 9 echoes at the Divine Power Echo Wall. Elder Rong reluctantly agreed, because the hidden treasure in the Divine Power Echo Wall was extraordinary. If he could get it, Yang Chen's body would have a huge boost, but the other treasures they had were too weak for him, so Elder Rong passed him a legendary secret manual. A powerful ancient body refinement technique, Dragon Steps. Elder Rong wasn't sure if Yang Chen could master it in a short time. This secret manual was the Dragon Steps, a type of power-up technique. When used, it would increase the strength of an attack tremendously. The Dragon Steps had 3 levels. The first level could instantly increase the user's strength by 3 times. The second level 6 times. The third level was even more terrifying, instantly increasing the user's strength by 9 times. Elder Rong never thought that Yang Chen would master the Dragon Steps in just half a day. In less than a day, he managed to master the first level. Even Yang Chen himself didn't know whether it was the manual or something else. Even the purest of dragon bloodlines wouldn't be able to master the Dragon Steps so quickly. The manual definitely played a part, but it wasn't the only reason. The main reason was that his dantian contained the Taigu Mo, Long Wu Hun. But of course, Yang Chen didn't realize this yet. Having mastered the first level, Yang Chen couldn't wait to jump up and grab the Divine Power Hammer. Look, Yang Chen is moving. After just a day, is he going to start? I'm really looking forward to it. Do you think he can make it? Making some sound shouldn't be a problem. But reaching 9 echoes, that's going to be difficult. He is indeed strong, but humans are naturally weaker in terms of physical strength. Many geniuses from the Dongchuan sects didn't think highly of Yang Chen. Yang Chen's movement also woke up Jian Wuk. Everyone made some room, focusing their attention on Yang Chen. Jian Wuk, who has experienced the Divine Power Echo Wall, estimated that his big brother could get 6 echoes at max. Yang Chen roared. He tightly gripped the huge Divine Power Hammer and activated the Dragon Steps. The hammer slammed into the Divine Power Echo Wall. Bang! Bang! A clear and loud echoing sound spread out, and 2 echoes sounded out in an instant. Everyone was stunned. The Divine Power Echo Wall continued to release powerful echoes. 6 echoes. The other geniuses from Dongchuan were speechless. So your true chi is strong, your attack power is strong. And your physical strength is so abnormal. He's definitely not human. After a while, the Divine Power Echo Wall, seemingly unwilling to give up, produced another echo. But this echo was very weak and quickly disappeared. In other words, after half of a day and an hour, Yang Chen, who was annoyed with that one extra sound, was not satisfied with his achievement. Even after activating the Dragon Steps, he could only achieve 6 echoes. This was not satisfactory. The representatives from various forces who were originally going to curry favor with Yang Chen stopped when they noticed that Yang Chen looked annoyed. Yang Chen sat down again. It was clear that he was not satisfied. He continued to refine his body. But everyone knew, no matter how much he refined it, he couldn't get 9 echoes. They are too far apart. Even Qian Lingxi was confused. Wasn't reaching 6 echoes at the Divine Power Echo Wall very impressive? She looked at Yang Chen's name and didn't understand why he was so upset. Jian Wuk was secretly curious. He knew his big brother's physical strength was at its limit. So why Are more echoes appearing? Although he failed, everyone understood that Yang Chen had already conquered Mount Fengshan. He had also conquered all of the Dongchuan geniuses present. He was no longer an ordinary person. They needed to respect him. While Yang Chen was feeling dissatisfied, he decided to continue to cultivate. He knew that as long as he mastered the dragon steps, he could reach the 9th level of the divine power echo wall. At the same time, more and more people were arriving at the foot of Mount Fengshan. These people were like Wan Lianqing, representatives of various great forces who wanted to take Yang Chen to their side. Including the great powers, even the poison sect has sent their agents to sway Yang Chen. When Wan Lianqing saw these people, his face fell. He knew that if these guys didn't interfere, there was a % chance that Yang Chen would join a major force of Dongchuan. But now, it was hard to say. So he kept watching the divine power echo wall. More and more people were gathering around, but everyone had the good sense to patiently wait for Yang Chen's next attempt. Xiao Qinglian became a bit worried. She asked Xiao Yunyang, brother, do you think Yang Chen and the others will join our great Jian Wuk nation? Xiao Yunyang sighed, maid. He's a true dragon. How could our great Jian Wuk nation hold him? What is it? Have you fallen for him? If so, it's a bit hopeless. He seems to be focused on Xianlingxi. And he doesn't even look at Mount Bodhi. What about us, then? Xiao Qinglian was frustrated. What are you saying? Xiao Qinglian couldn't help but ask again. Brother, if there's no hope for Yang Chen and Jian Wuk, what about Donghuang Wangkai? Upon hearing his sister's question, Xiao Yunyang suddenly understood. It turned out that this was the reason for his sister's strange behavior. He thought it was weird how his sister was looking at Donghuang Wangkai, especially during his test at the Monument of Grief. He could feel her anxiety. So her real goal was Donghuang Wangkai. But now that Donghuang Wangkai was a Dongchuan talent, it was not impossible. He knew that the Yang Chen brothers would definitely join the 4 great families. These second-tier forces were unable to recruit them. But since it was about his sister's happiness, Xiao Yunyang became serious. Even if they couldn't recruit Donghuang Wangkai, they had to build good relations with him. So, if Donghuang Wangkai joined a big family and married some other girl, his sister would have no place to cry. Of course, it was only if Donghuang Wangkai was interested. If he wasn't interested, then there was nothing he could do. Xiao Yunyang hesitated for a moment and then asked, Sister, do you think Wangkai still has feelings for you? Xiao Qinglian's face turned red. Her brother was just unbelievable. Why would he ask that? How would he respond? Seeing his sister not saying a word, her expression worried, Yang Chen, very experienced, basically guessed that 3 days had passed in a flash. The divine power of the surrounding crowd surged, yet silently. Most were immersed in body refinement, hoping to improve a little. Others were chatting in small groups. They were all waiting. They knew Yang Chen would try again and Jian Wuk would try too. The famous sunlight god, with a whoosh, Yang Chen, closest to the divine hammer, suddenly opened his eyes, a bright light flashing within them. He had spent 3 days finally mastering the Jilong 3 strikes. This surprised Rong Lao greatly. He even suspected that Yang Chen might possess true dragon blood. After trying to stand up, Yang Chen's gaze locked onto the divine hammer in front of him. Rong Lao, what is hidden inside the divine power zone? Full of confidence, Yang Chen did not try immediately but asked Rong Lao, tell me, master, what's inside? There are 3 Taiha eyes inside. Taiha eyes. Yang Chen was shocked. What are Taiha eyes? It doesn't sound related to physique. Rong Lao smiled. Taiha eyes are an extremely obscure form of protection. Yang Chen definitely hasn't heard of it. Not just Yang Chen, I'm afraid that most people in the Heavenly Book continent haven't heard of them either. Taiha eyes are a numerical symbol connected to the Taiha bone. They contain a large amount of life force and can greatly enhance physique and life's essence. Because the symbols of the Taiha bones are shaped like eyes, hence the name. Taiha eyes can temper the body and are excellent for healing, especially for wood and earth celestial Taoists. They are an extraordinary form of protection. Hearing Rong Lao's explanation of Taiha eyes, Yang Chen almost drooled. Although he had never heard of Taiha bones, or Taiha eyes, he had read many myths as a child with famous spiritual pearls, each a legendary treasure with various miraculous effects. I must obtain a Taiha eye, Yang Chen muttered, his gaze fixed on the divine power zone. According to Rong Lao, if he refined a Taiha eye, his physique would undergo a transformation, even possibly shedding his mortal body to advance to an innate spirit body. Many cultivators, even those who had reached the innate realm, had not achieved the innate spirit body. Most cultivators in the Zifu realm still had a mortal body. With a light cough, Yang Chen stepped forward, reaching for the handle of the divine hammer. Then, his hand gripped it tightly. The moment he lifted the hammer, Yang Chen felt, whether it was his imagination or not, the hammer was lighter than before. Rapidly swinging the divine hammer towards the divine power zone, Yang Chen displayed several moves of the Jilong 3 strikes. The immense force shocked the entire Fengshan mountain, including Jian Wuk nearby. The divine power zone, along with all the cultivators nearby, stared intently at the divine power zone. To everyone's surprise, the divine power zone resonated for what seemed like 10 breaths, with endless echoes coming from within. Could there be a problem with the divine power zone? Given Yang Chen's strength, under normal circumstances, the divine power zone wouldn't react like that. Just as everyone was confused, the divine power zone suddenly started shaking violently. Run! Run! An anxious echo sounded, then another and another. The echoes came almost instantaneously, one after another. Everyone present was astonished, including Jian Wuk. My brother is too amazing. His body strength hasn't reached that level, yet he could resonate with the divine power zone. Yang Chen was excited, even Qian Lingxi was stunned. But Yang Chen couldn't hear Qian Lingxi's cries. All he could hear was the ancient mountain spirit of Fengshan Mountain. The ancient mountain spirit appeared again, just like the last time, opening the divine power zone specifically for Yang Chen. Dropping the divine hammer, Yang Chen stepped forward and pressed his hands against the divine power zone. He was eager to refine the Taiha eye within. As he channeled the technique, a stream of energy entered the divine power zone and locked onto the full-sized green eyeball. The refining began. A soft, warm energy flowed through his hands, into his body, into his 4 limbs. Yang Chen grinned. He thought that refining the legendary Taiha eye would be difficult, but it was surprisingly easy. Although the people around were surprised by Yang Chen's actions, none of them disturbed him. They all watched him closely. They could sense a feeling of extreme comfort radiating from Yang Chen's body, and his skin was emitting a golden glow. Those present were not ordinary people, so they knew that Yang Chen must have received a great benefit from the divine power zone. While refining his body, he was also washing his hair and removing toxins and impurities from his body. Yang Chen was in constant transformation, refining the Taiha eye, while internally, he discovered that his golden blood was boiling, and his meridians were glowing with a special silver light. This was a sign of his bloodline growing stronger. Although Yang Chen was young, all cultivators wanted more powerful bloodlines. It only took a short time to refine the Taiha eye. Yang Chen's body had been completely transformed. He felt that he was no longer a human, no, he was no longer a mortal. His body seemed to have broken through a barrier, and his physique had improved greatly. The color of all his meridians had changed. It was very magical. Yang Chen didn't know that the sign of an innate spirit body was that the blood is crystallized. But due to his special bloodline, no change could be seen on the surface. Coming back to his senses, Yang Chen couldn't help but wrinkle his nose. This is too smelly. Hurriedly, Yang Chen slightly shook his body, causing countless black impurities to fall off. His skin was now crystal clear, even more tender than a baby's, but even the sharpest blade could hardly leave a mark on Yang Chen's skin. Yang Chen chuckled as he looked at the surprised faces around him. Everyone, don't be confused. As long as someone can pass the Fengshan test, they will obtain the blessing of the ancient mountain spirit. Most people had already guessed as much. They finally understood why Yang Chen was so determined to pass the divine power zone trial. The representatives of many major powers, including Wan Lianqing, were a little anxious. They all wanted to recruit Yang Chen. Now that Yang Chen had successfully conquered Fengshan Mountain, it was time to choose a side. But to everyone's surprise, Yang Chen ignored them all. Instead, he turned to Jian Wuk and Donghuang Wangkai. You two should try it too. Donghuang Wangkai smiled wryly. I'm a sword cultivator, pure body strength is not my forte. I'll just pass. Jian Wuk was eager to try. Bro, wait a bit. Everyone was curious, including Qian Lingxi. They wondered what he was waiting for. Only Yang Chen knew that recently he had also taught Jian Wuk the Jilong 3 strikes, hoping Jian Wuk could also refine a Taiha eye. Seeing Jian Wuk's appearance, it seemed he had not yet fully mastered the first strike. Let's wait a bit. Then Yang Chen, ignoring the burning gaze, walked towards Qian Lingxi, saying, Lingxi, are you not gonna show off today? Qian Lingxi smiled, and Xiao Yunyang also came over. After surrounding Yang Chen for a while, they started discreetly inquiring about Donghuang Wangkai's information. Yang Chen was a little surprised that they were so interested in Donghuang Wangkai. Could they be wanting to pull Wangkai over to their side? Yang Chen saw that Xiao Qinglian was nervously looking around, and then suddenly had an idea. It seemed these two sisters had a plan. But Yang Chen wasn't going to interfere. It was up to Donghuang Wangkai to decide. Even though he and Donghuang Wangkai were sworn brothers, he wouldn't interfere with his choice. Of course, if Donghuang Wangkai couldn't find a wife, then he would interfere. After a while, Jian Wuk stood up. He looked energized. Yang Chen knew that Wuk had definitely mastered the Jilong 3 strikes. In that case, Wuk should be very confident. Although many knew that Jian Wuk was famous for his mastery of the wind attribute, they still wanted to see his body strength. Apart from Yang Chen, no one thought Jian Wuk would be able to pass the 9th level. Jian Wuk roared, shocking everyone present. His voice was very powerful. Grabbing the divine hammer, Jian Wuk didn't hesitate this time, and used both hands to unleash it toward the divine power zone. The force was terrifying, and the divine power zone began to emit 3 immense echoes almost simultaneously. Perhaps Jian Wuk's power was too great, even the huge divine power zone was trembling slightly. After a few breaths, the divine power zone emitted another set of echoes, each one stronger than the last. A series of echoes, in just a blink of an eye. Just as Yang Chen had done, everyone stared at Jian Wuk with disbelief. They looked like they were staring at a monster. Even Donghuang Wangkai was stunned, thinking to himself that these two brothers were just too much, leaving him behind. Just as everyone was wondering if the divine power zone would emit more echoes, one more sounded. However, this echo was much weaker than the previous 8, and the resonance was rapidly fading. Yang Chen was also confused. He did not know if Jian Wuk had actually succeeded or not. Everyone present, including Yang Chen, wanted to know if Jian Wuk's last resonance counted. Very soon, the divine power zone displayed Jian Wuk's name right next to Yang Chen's name. Looking at Jian Wuk's expression, everyone guessed the last resonance was counted. As Jian Wuk grinned, he heard the voice of the ancient mountain spirit in his ear, so he began to refine the Taiha eye hidden within the divine power zone, and Yang Chen's heart finally settled down. In a good mood, Yang Chen glanced at Donghuang Wangkai, who looked like he was about to cry. Now, it's your turn to go. Recovering from his shock, Donghuang Wangkai gave him a black look. I'm a sword cultivator. I don't participate in such strength competitions. These words caused Qiu Ling's sister to look at Donghuang Wangkai even more strangely. Yang Chen did not continue to tease Donghuang Wangkai. Instead, he walked to Qian Lingxi and asked quietly, Lingxi, this 9-dragon platform, do you want to try it out? He felt that with Qian Lingxi's strength, passing through the famous Fengshen zone should not be a problem. Qian Lingxi had awakened a powerful bloodline, and her water and wood element energy was also extremely strong. She should do it easily. At the same time, Qian Lingxi was also a talisman master. Her soul power was certainly not weak. Qian Lingxi shook her head. She was usually very calm and didn't like to do risky things. I knew it. Yang Chen sighed. He knew she was not interested. It looks like she has passed this test. Thinking about how she had to go to the 9-dragon platform, Yang Chen still felt concerned. On the other side, Fu Shanshan, seeing that Yang Chen had ignored her all along, felt a bit hurt and even humiliated. So, while everyone was distracted, Fu Shanshan quietly left Fengshen Mountain. Less than an hour later, Jian Wuk successfully refined the Taiha eye. His whole body was surrounded by a black mist, which was obviously the sign of a physical transformation, and also released an aura of murderous intent, as if he had just come from a savage battlefield. Everyone was a little afraid, even subconsciously moved away. Not long after, Jian Wuk's dark aura slowly dissipated, and he turned into a dark and handsome young man. Bro, Jian Wuk came to Yang Chen, excited beyond words. Very good. Yang Chen replied with satisfaction, happy for him. He knew that Wuk's strength had reached an unbelievably terrifying level. Wan Liansheng, who had been waiting impatiently, suddenly stopped in front of them. Yang Chen, Jian Wuk, both of you can join my Eastern Chuan Empire, and return with me to the capital. In addition to the previous conditions, we can add more. Of course, if you have any requests, we will try to meet them. It could be said that Wan Liansheng, who now had a burning gaze, had shown enough sincerity, but Yang Chen still did not respond, and Jian Wuk remained silent. As Wan Liansheng's voice faded, the group of people with the largest numbers, the Seven Heavens sect, stepped forward, talking all at once. Yang Chen smiled, there's no need for you to all come at once. It seemed the Seven Heavens sect had all decided to show their faces. The leader, a young man with a sword, looked like he was less than years old, yet had a very imposing aura. He looked at the others beside him and arrogantly said, Yang Chen, I've inquired about your information. I heard that you are from the Eastern Huangjian sect, which is a cultivation sect. However, our Jianfeng sect is your best destination. The sect master is my grandfather, and he said that the agreement you have with Xianjiwan is not valid. When I went up the mountain I saw him head back down. Yang Chen found this young man quite interesting. Although he was arrogant, he was not malicious. After a pause, the sword youth said seriously, Yang Chen and Jian Wuk, if you two join my Jianfeng sect, you will immediately become sword disciples. All the resources inside the sect will be open to you. These words surprised all the other sect disciples present. They looked at Yang Chen and Jian Wuk with envious eyes. The conditions offered by the Jianfeng sect were just too good. Yang Chen's expression became serious. This time he was truly moved. He could feel the sincerity in the young man's words, and he knew what Jian Zi meant in the Seven Heavens sect. The so-called sword disciple was a future sect leader, even one who could compete for the position of sect master in Seven Heavens sect. Sword disciples meant that the Jianfeng sect did not yet have a real sword disciple. However, they would have to pick from the current sword disciples. Even so, the sword disciples were absolute core members. When the youth's voice faded, the other sect representatives did not know how to respond. Their sects all already had sword disciples, so they could not offer conditions as good as Jianfeng sect. Oh, there was also the Soul Sword sect that did not have sword disciples, but their representative this time was a blind man, who did not say a word. He didn't even try to recruit Yang Chen. The Soul Sword sect had always been special in the Seven Heavens sect. They had the fewest disciples and rarely went down the mountain. I feel the sincerity of the Jianfeng sect. Before Yang Chen finished his sentence, a small girl squeezed through the crowd, and said with a childish voice, "Stop fighting." Yang Chen, who was interrupted, was a bit angry, but when he saw the girl's face, his expression became one of awe. This little girl looked like she was only 12 or 13 years old. She had a cute, pink face, two bright eyes, and her red hair formed two little horns. She was very cute, but when Yang Chen focused on her, Yang Chen's expression changed. He looked at the girl with some fear. He was completely stunned. He thought he was already very monstrous, but seeing this girl, he felt a sense of immense pressure. Her cultivation had actually reached the level of celestial Taoist. At the peak of the 9th level, he could even sense the unique aura on the little pink girl. If she wanted, she probably could have already made progress. She could make progress to the core level. This is truly amazing. Xian Lingqi and Xiao Linger were also stunned seeing so many little girls. The words swirling in their minds were cute, adorable, they all seemed innocent. The girls looked around, expressions of purity, but all stopped at Yang Chen. The little pink girl nodded at Yang Chen, and that was it. It's you. You're Yang Chen, right? From now on, you are our little sixth brother. Finally, I'm not the youngest. Everyone was dumbfounded. Who is this little girl? Wan Lianqing asked. Where did this little girl come from? Do you know where this is? Do you know what we are doing? Get lost. Many other faction representatives started scolding. Only a few students from the Water Institute kept quiet. Their expressions were strange because they saw a red door-shaped symbol on the little girl's sleeve. This symbol was exactly like the one on their uniforms. All members of the Water Institute from instructors to students have a door-shaped symbol on their uniform. The little pink girl looked at Wan Lianqing. I've remembered all of you. When I get back, I'm going to tell my third senior brother that you're bullying me. It was as if she was going to tattle. Many people couldn't help but laugh. Such a kid, someone said. Little girl, who is your third senior brother? The little pink girl proudly said, my third senior brother is Shen Lauren. Shen Lauren. What? Shen Lauren. Shen Lauren instantly, everyone from all the different factions looked at each other in shock. The name Shen Lauren seemed to possess terrifying power that made them instantly wary. The entire area was silent as everyone stared at the little pink girl in astonishment. Yang Chen was getting curious. Who was this Shen Lauren that had made all these geniuses so wary? The little pink girl continued. My third senior brother said, Yang Chen will be our Flame Mountain's little sixth. Does anyone have a problem with that? No problem. Even Wan Lianqing, who had been so aggressive earlier, gave up. Who would dare to fight with the Flame Mountain? Yang Chen was stunned. He had never heard of any faction called Flame Mountain in the Eastern continent. Could it be Seeing Yang Chen's confused look, Xiao Yunyang explained, the Flame Mountain is the water flame double peaks located outside of the Twin Cities. The Water Gate Mountain is to the outer and the Flame Mountain is to the inner. The Flame Mountain is the inner circle. The Flame Institute. Yang Chen muttered. Even though he knew very little about the Flame Institute, he knew that the Flame Institute never recruited outsiders. Over the years, there were only a handful of people inside. How strange, why is Shenloren so sure that he would become an inner disciple? Yang Chen still knew the power of Flame Institute. He had heard Xiao Yunyang's admiration when he spoke of the Flame Institute. Yang Chen asked Xiao Yunyang, Brother Xiao, who is Shenloren, is he really strong? Xiao Yunyang replied strong. That's an understatement. Yang Chen, Shenloren is ranked number 1 on the Eastern continent, known as the Wind King. His wind techniques are unparalleled. Many martial kings have died by his sword, not to mention those who have been famous for many years. It is said that as long as Shenloren is in Flame Mountain, the Eastern continent will have no problem. Yang Chen was truly shocked. In the congenital stage, above the Zifu realm was the martial king realm. To be the best among countless martial kings, he must be terrifyingly strong. And this is just the third senior brother. What about the first and second, aren't they even stronger? What about their teacher? Isn't he the number 1 person in the Eastern continent? Curious, Yang Chen asked, Brother Xiao, how old is this Wind King? 29, Xiao Yunyang answered. Everyone in the Eastern continent knows that. 29. Yang Chen was stunned again. This is truly talent. What am I? After a long moment, Yang Chen turned to the little pink girl. Little girl, before Yang Chen could finish, the little pink girl looked at him angrily. Who are you calling little girl? Call me senior sister. My third senior brother said you're the little sixth. You're the youngest. Seeing the serious little girl, Xiao Linger laughed. Jian Lingxi smiled slightly. Yang Chen's face darkened. What was happening? He hadn't agreed yet, and now he was supposed to call a little girl senior sister, but she was Shenloren's junior sister. Yang Chen dared not offend her. He had no choice but to say, all right, senior sister. Can I ask what are the benefits of joining the Flame Mountain? Benefits. The little girl was stumped. Her third senior brother hadn't mentioned any benefits. The little pink girl was suddenly lost, but after a moment, her eyes lit up. If you join the Flame Mountain, there are no other benefits, but there is one benefit you definitely won't expect. What benefit? Yang Chen asked. He was really curious. No one dares to bully the Flame Mountain. The little girl declared proudly. No one in the entire Eastern continent dares to bully the Flame Mountain. Yang Chen was shocked. The Flame Mountain was that powerful in the Eastern continent. If I join the Flame Mountain, I can walk sideways in the Eastern continent. Yang Chen looked around at everyone, including Xiao Yunyang. They all seemed to agree. Don't even joke about it. Bullying people from the Flame Mountain is like having a death wish. Seeing Yang Chen still hesitating, the little pink girl asked with impatience, do you guys want to take our people? No, we wouldn't dare. The little pink girl said, and everyone agreed immediately. Who would dare offend the Flame Mountain for a nascent soul realm? It was a loss no matter what. Even if he was a genius, he was just a little kid in the postnatal realm. How many geniuses in the postnatal realm faded into obscurity once they entered the congenital realm? Yang Chen was excited. The Flame Mountain was more powerful than he had imagined. He asked the little pink girl, little girl, can I bully others if I join the Flame Mountain? Hey! The little pink girl said angrily. I told you, don't call me little girl. Call me fifth sister. Also, teacher said that bullying is bad. We have to be reasonable. The little pink girl's angry look was adorable. Chen Lingqi and Xiao Linger couldn't help but smile. Yang Chen was speechless. I haven't even agreed yet. Why are you so certain that I will be your junior brother? It was a bit strange, but seeing Xiao Yunyang's expression, and Chen Lingqi and Xiao Linger's smiles, Yang Chen knew that he couldn't refuse. Yang Chen said, little sister, I don't know about the Flame Mountain yet. Can you introduce it to me? The little pink girl replied with impatience. I've told you already. It's called fifth sister, not little sister. You will know the situation in the mountains when you get there. Yang Chen realized it was impossible to reason with her. Fifth sister, can my brother Jian Wuk and my friends, Lingxi and Linger, come with me? Yang Chen asked, pointing to Jian Wuk, Jian Lingxi, and Xiao Linger. Jian Wuk, I heard my third senior brother mention him. He said he can look after the gate and help the fourth senior brother out. The others, no. The little pink girl said firmly. Yang Chen rolled his eyes. What was going on? Jian Wuk could only be a gatekeeper. What the hell? Why would the geniuses of the Eastern continent want to join the Flame Mountain and be a gatekeeper? Yang Chen was about to object, but Jian Wuk interrupted. Brother, I'm willing. Jian Wuk looked wronged. The little pink girl was happy. Big brother is smart. Yang Chen didn't know whether to laugh or cry. He didn't want to be separated from Chen Lingxi and Xiao Linger. Before the little pink girl could speak again, one of the representatives from another faction stepped forward. He was a gray-robed youth with closed eyes. He was blind, and he was emanating an eerie aura. He wasn't a good person. Only those who were skilled in swordsmanship like Dong Huang Wankai knew that the aura was an incomplete sword intent. The gray-robed youth focused his gaze on Dong Huang Wankai and said, Dong Huang Wankai, you are a born sword soul. It is such a waste not to cultivate the soul sword. Join my soul sword peak. I represent the 7th heaven's soul sword peak. Everyone was now paying attention to the gray-robed youth and Dong Huang Wankai. Soul Valley, soul sword. Dong Huang Wankai himself had no idea what Soul Valley was, let alone the soul sword. Yang Chen was also confused. He hadn't heard of soul sword either. But it sounded really powerful. Master already knows about it. Rong Lao explained to Yang Chen. Dong Huang Wankai is indeed talented. His soul is very suitable for soul sword. But Rong Lao stopped there. Yang Chen was very curious. Why hadn't he mentioned it before? Master, is it very difficult to cultivate the soul sword? Difficult. It's more than difficult. Rong Lao replied. Almost everyone who cultivates the soul sword goes crazy. The process of cultivating the soul sword is extremely dangerous. Not everyone can do it, but once the soul sword is mastered, it will easily cross realms to defeat its opponent. Really? Yang Chen was surprised. He didn't expect the soul sword to be so powerful. Dong Huang Wankai was a martial lord. Perhaps if he entered the soul sword peak, he would really master it. More importantly, isn't Dong Huang Wankai a born Soul Valley user? Dong Huang Wankai was hesitant. He actually wanted to join the Jianwu Empire. It was a shame if he didn't get to make a move on the beautiful Xiao Jinlian. Wankai, go to the soul sword peak. Xiao Jinlian's message came into Dong Huang Wankai's ears. Dong Huang Wankai looked at Xiao Jinlian and she blushed. At that moment, Yang Chen spoke seriously. Wankai, you're very suitable for the soul sword. You should go. Dong Huang Wankai finally made his decision. He turned to the gray-robed youth.